What's up, Portland? John Taylor, founder of PortlandRealEstateExperts.com.
And I'm Kristina Bullock, co-founder of PortlandRealEstateExperts.com.
And we are your host for the show that brings you interesting people talking about what makes them unique,
What makes Portland unique?
and why Portland is such a great place to live. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the All Things Portland podcast. I'm your host, John Taylor, along with my lovely co-host, Kristina Bullock, and our awesome guest, Alpha Hayward. How are you guys doing today?
Up, we are good. Happy to be here. Happy to have Alpha here.
Hey, I'm happy to be here, man. I'm excited. I'm good in the hood. I'm ready to go.
We've been trying since episode 1 to get this guy here.
So
he finally made time for us.
Absolutely. We've been trying to get him in here for a while. So Alpha is an entrepreneur and a minister, and he has Alpha's Auto Detailing in Southeast Portland, and he also has Revolution Church in Southeast Portland as well. So welcome, Alpha. Thank you for joining us today. We really appreciate it. And so tell us a little bit about your church.
Okay. Well, my name's Alpha Hayward. I'm the pastor of Revolution Church in Southeast Portland. And we planted this church about 11 years ago or so. Wow. So I think it was 11 years ago. We officially started having church on Easter of 2009.
Okay.
And we began in the Boys and Girls Club. So we met in the Boys and Girls Club doing set up and tear down church for 9.5 years, and we survived that. So I guess we were ready to move into our own spot, and we got that spot. It's right there on 130th and Ramona, across from Gilbert Park School. A friend of mine was doing some real estate, met a guy who owns a mortgage company called Root Mortgage. So Scott Kirkland had purchased this building that was an old church building from 1905. So it's an old Methodist church building. And he said, hey, are you guys looking for a building? And we said, yeah, we are. And so he said, come and look at this thing. So we came and looked at it. And so that's where we've been having church ever since. So almost 2 years in that building.
Yeah.
And because I'm a bivocational minister, I needed to do something to supplement income. So years ago, I started detailing cars. I used to work for someone when I was 18 doing auto detailing. And so I just kept auto detailing, like part-time, started doing it on my own, had different jobs, worked in the restaurant business, worked as a land surveyor, worked in construction, and did the detailing on the side and just kept detailing. And then one day, a friend of mine gave me an opportunity who had his business in Sellwood. And that was Chris Reiser with Bridgetown Automotive, which is a great place. And Chris gave me an opportunity and said, why don't you set up your shop inside of our shop?
How long ago was that?
That was, I think, 2012.
Okay.
And so for almost 2 years, I was in Bridgetown Automotive, which was just less than a half a block from the car wash where I finally opened my detail shop.
Where you're at now.
Yeah.
And that's how we know Alpha.
Yeah, that's how I met these guys.
Yeah.
Kristina owned the car wash. And
we thought it would be a great idea.
It turned out to not be a great idea, but we're turning it into food carts, and auto detailing will still be there. So.
And Alpha is the reason we've gotten to this point.
Yeah, and hopefully as the months go by, it just keeps getting better and better, and not becoming bad news, but good news and good news. You know.
Yeah.
And thank you, because you're the one that's kind of helped us turn it around into good news, because it hasn't been great news.
It's been a struggle. Anybody thinks it's easy collecting quarters? It's not.
It's not easy all the way around. So
especially nowadays with the issues going on that we all have to deal with.
We definitely have dealt with some people on the streets and interesting situations. And a lot of people think car washes are their
place to live or deal drugs or whatnot.
Or drop their trash.
Makes it a little challenging to have a 24-hour auto detail shop. So
it's been a little bit of a struggle.
The car wash. So
it's good for people to know who are viewing too that, all three of us, especially you guys, know what it's like to deal with the challenges of having business in Portland.
Yep.
And churches deal with it, businesses deal with it, neighbors deal with it, and it's something we all have to deal with. We're trying to manage it the best we can.
There was a while there he showed up every day for something new.
Yeah, there
and
was.
You're like, I don't.
You had a
think I can
surprise
do
every
this
day. Yeah, you had a
lot of
surprise.
surprises. Kept us on our toes for sure. So,
but things are looking on the up and up there, and the property's looking better. It's getting more safe and getting more clean, and business is still going. You know, we're still detailing cars out of there, and
so let's tell the audience and everybody like exactly where it's at.
Sure.
And so if they need to get their car detailed, or we have one food cart up and running, and we'll have 3 more here soon. So
that's right. It's at 8064 Southeast 17th Avenue, just 1 block north of 17th and Tacoma. So if you find the 7-Eleven or Birdie Lou's Cafe, you're within, I don't know, 10, 12 steps of Alpha's Auto Detail. And there's also going to be a total of 4 food carts in there. We have Calabash Cajun barbecue grill, which is excellent. It's like African and Cajun cuisine. Mm-hmm. We have a Thai food cart going in there. We have a coffee roaster and coffee cart going in there. And then Chelly is already there serving some really good Mexican food. One of the guys that works for me is from Mexico. He's from Puerto Vallarta, and he has sampled almost all of Chelly's food, and he gave his thumbs up and said that her food is actually really authentic and really good. So and he's quite the critic. So so he said it's great. So by the middle of January next year, you'll see 4 food carts in there rocking and rolling, and so we're excited about that, and the neighbors are too. So we started telling the neighbors when they walk by and say, hey, what's going on here? And all of them are excited about the food carts.
That was a huge part of it, too. I mean, the neighbors, everybody's involved there with all the stuff happening on a car wash lot. A lot can happen.
Right.
You know what?
And if it wasn't for this guy, I don't know where.
Thanks to these guys, Ryan Rollins with PDX Sliders, that's how they got their start.
Yeah, if you know where the original PDX Sliders
that's the original.
Yep.
Yeah, and they became the #1 food cart in Portland there for a while, and now they're sticks and bricks and killing it. Yeah.
They have 2 locations now, and they're just killing it. And rumors of a 3rd one at some point, but
nice.
But they're doing really good.
And JoJo's PDX also was there. Got their start. That's where they started.
JoJo's is great too.
Yeah,
that chicken and JoJo's over there is really good. I think he's off of Powell.
He is now, yeah. Yep. We lost him to Powell food cart
I tried to get him to come back. I said,
know?
hey man, Justin, you want to come back over here? And he said, no, I'm good here. But
he's got a good thing going there.
Yeah. He's doing well there, and
he started on our lot.
That's right. It's true.
Yeah.
Great things start over at 8064 Southeast 17th.
Yes, they do. So say hi to Alpha. So.
Yeah, come and see us over there. Either me or Ricardo.
Yeah,
so on your church,
switch gears to church.
So Easter 2009. How many people show up at your first service?
It was kind of crazy, man. It was over 300 people came.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
okay.
It was nearly 400 people came to our first service.
I was thinking in my head it was like 3 or something like that.
That's what I thought it was going to be.
Built it up to 300 since then. So your very first one. 300 people. That's
I mean, a lot of people just kind of spread the word, and we promoted the best we could. We had quite a large.
I think that speaks volumes for who you are as a person too. You're always out there talking to people, helping people. You didn't have to do anything you've done for us, and you've jumped in to help us. So, you get support when you do stuff like that. So obviously, first church day, 300 people doesn't surprise me.
Well, thank you. But it's of course it's God. It's the neighborhood, and partnering with the Boys and Girls Club was huge too. Mm-hmm. We partnered with them a lot, and so we got to meet even more families that way, and they let us promote what we were doing. So that helped out, and then of course everybody was who was already coming to the church was telling everybody, and so we had a lot of guests there that kind of wanted to see what's the first service of this church like,
right.
And then we kind of stayed around 100, 120 people for a while, and then it just started growing. And it's grown to about 260 to 280 people. And then we had to do some changes with our service times, and we moved from this kind of game room carpeted area to the gym. And
Yeah,
So,
you had to take
it was
the whole chairs, all of it, every single time, right?
it was a lot of work.
Yeah.
Honestly,
Yeah, that's a lot of
it was a lot of work.
take down.
What do you think it is about your service that's like? What is your message when you're obviously? I know everyone has a different way of.
Yeah. So, there's a lot of different churches out there, and we're with the Foursquare denomination, and there's a lot of different Foursquare churches all around the world. We actually have more Foursquare churches out of the country than inside the country, and there's still well over 2,000 churches throughout the United States. And every Foursquare church is a little bit different in the sense of the community where God has placed you. Every community is different. And when you're living in Portland, you can go 5 miles this way and 5 miles that way, and there'll be different pockets of different communities that are there.
Yeah, definitely.
And so I grew up in that area of where the Boys and Girls Club is. I grew up in the Mount Scott Lentz area.
Okay.
So I grew up in Felony Flats and grew up with all of the good, bad, and ugly of being in Southeast Portland. And I love it. I love Southeast Portland. And so my connection with the neighborhood is more, it's not like I had to work at it. I kind of knew it because I'm from there. But there has been changes since I was a kid, But our church is different in the sense of we're new school but old school, because our old school is like this. We don't believe we have to be excellent at marketing. We need to be excellent at fulfilling the mission of what Jesus has called us to do. So we don't put a lot of money into hey, let's find out what do people like, and what do we need to do with our service to make more people come, and how can we get more folks to come that have money so they'll pay tithe here, and how do we, our thoughts are not like that. We think more missional, so we kind of think more like a missionary. So we're like, okay, what are the needs of the neighborhood? What are the challenges here? What's the language of the neighborhood? And what do people like here? Like, what do they eat? What do they do for their fun? And try to make it more of like, hey, our church is in this neighborhood. If you come in like, hey, neighborhood, we're the new church in town, and you need us because we're a huge value to you. You need us, so you better come here to get God. Like, it doesn't work like that. That's kind of an Americanized way of pushing Christianity. What we do is our heart is like, you know what, we're here to be neighbors with you. And we do want to reach people all around the world, but if we can't reach the folks who are right next to us, then we're not fulfilling the mission. We're not doing it right, So we kind of keep it simple by saying our slogan is loving God and loving people, which is, a lot of churches say something like that, but it's a command from Jesus. He said to love God.
We've been to a
people.
few of your services, one online, and I don't know if you've been to other ones, but
yeah,
and then the
some.
one live, which was outside.
Yeah,
and you feel that the minute you walk in, and walked in there, like everybody was just like super happy.
Nice.
And you guys just have, you're up there. It was fun. That's what I enjoyed about it. Like, we had killer music, and just you had a guest pastor from Atlanta, which was really cool.
Yeah.
And you guys were telling jokes, but, getting the message out, too, at the same time. And everybody there was just having a blast, including myself and our son.
That's awesome.
And our son's still talking about the killer barbecue that you guys served everybody afterwards. And I'm sure a lot of other people are, too. So.
Yeah, and we're spoiled. We get that kind of food every month.
Yeah.
Fred is a retired contractor. He's been going to our church for a while now. And he loves to cook. But he loves to cook for people. Yeah. And so he loves to do it for, so once a month at the end of the month, the last Sunday of the month, Fred always makes a spread. And he has a team of people that help him.
We love Fred.
He's got
to do it right.
He starts cooking that food on Friday. Can you believe that? He starts marinating and getting stuff ready Friday.
Because I tasted it,
Man, and he cooks it. He gets there early on Sunday. Like early, like 4 or 5 a.m. and starts cooking it in the smoker and all that kind of stuff.
That's
so
awesome.
Everything's ready. Yeah. So he's crazy about it.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, we have to take a quick break real soon, right now. And when we come back, after hearing from one of our sponsors, we're going to dive a little more into his work with the community and connecting through the church. And then we'll talk about the Portland package.
We wanted to give a shout out to some of our sponsors, and first of all, Gateway Brewing, PDX, and they are in the Northeast Portland Gateway District, and they have some amazing beers, and we've tried a few of them.
Yes, we have here on this show, actually. So I discovered the Pilsner is my favorite, even though I'm not really a beer drinker.
Yeah, and they have a great red, a great IPA, and a great stout as well, and some other ones he's experimenting with. So you can find them at Gateway Brewing PDX on Instagram. I'd also like to give a shout out to the House of Rose in Bridgeport Village, and they make bespoke clothing, so custom clothing for men, women, and children, and accessories, and they can be found at
Instagram. Designs by Thor.
Designs by Thor, yeah. That's the one, yes.
Yep.
Also our preferred mortgage broker, Todd Johnson. It's the Todd Johnson team at Commerce Banking, and I've worked with Todd for years, and he does an awesome job. He thinks outside the box, and he's been able to get some of our clients some loans put together when others couldn't. And so Todd can be found at
he is the Todd Johnson team on Instagram, if I remember correctly.
That is the one.
That'll get you there. Todd Johnson.
Yeah, and then lastly, Homes with Style. So Joe Hughes is the owner there, and I've worked with him for years, and does some amazing remodel jobs and new construction if you need it, garages, ADUs, everything. So
He's been building for about 30 years.
Joe's been building for 30 years.
He knows what he's doing.
He's hands-on and great customer service. So Joe can be found at, he's old school, so we're going to give you his email. So he's Joe at homeswstyleinc.com. Welcome back, everyone. We're back here at the GMP podcast studio on 24th and East Burnside, and back with our guest Alpha and Kristina. And before we get started, I just wanted to give a quick shout out to one of our sponsors, the House of Rose out at the Bridgeport Village. And Tony out there makes some amazing custom homes for men, women, and children. But they also have all these amazing leather goods and accessories out there. And I got hooked up with this killer fanny pack. We're bringing the
He
fanny
said custom homes. That was the real estate.
Whoops.
Custom clothes.
Custom clothes, not homes. That's total slip up there. So. He did just to sell homes, but
I'm
he makes
sure
clothes
he would
now.
do
He makes
great.
he makes amazing.
That's pretty sweet.
Clothes.
Yeah.
So anyway, this awesome fanny pack. If you guys need accessories or custom clothes, House of Rose, Designs by Thor out at Bridgeport Village.
Yep.
So
Good.
anyway.
Yep. So before we jump into the Portland package and hearing about Alpha's favorites across town, we want to stick with church a little more and talk about what you've experienced due to the lockdowns from COVID and how that has affected your church in good, bad, ugly, or where people are coming from.
Well, I'll tell you, just like how it affected everyone else right away, and we had to switch to online, so we did the same thing. We switched to online, and it was a challenge because honestly, with my congregation, I know that many of them are different, but with mine, I'd say about 95% of my congregation wanted to meet. They did not want to have to stay home.
Yeah.
They did not want to have to wear masks. They wanted to have church, and I'm right there with them. I love going to church. I've been going to church for so long, and not going to church on Sunday feels weird, But so that was a challenge, and so we stayed online for a while, and it actually it's kind of odd, but financially, it didn't hurt us at all. We even increased in guests and increased in people just visiting our church via online. And then I started getting emails and Facebook messages saying, when you guys open up, let me know because I'm going to come visit your church.
Nice.
And so we actually started.
To me. That's what
Take it to
right?
the house.
We just started connecting with people even more.
We did your Easter service online.
That's right. That's right. We did Easter online.
We still say that. Take it to the
Take
house.
it to the house.
Take it to the house,
There's
baby.
a lot of
This guy's
passion.
got a lot of energy.
Oh yeah. Honestly, I'm passionate about the Lord. I'm passionate about church and ministry, especially outreach ministry.
Is that where you find you connect the most?
That's where I connect the most.
I would imagine you're really good at that.
Thank you. I'm fond of I don't know. This might sound bad to say it this way, but for lack of a better expression, right? I'm kind of fond of the street. You know, I'm not an office guy. I'm not a. I don't like to sit in board meetings and sit in like long meetings and stuff. I'd rather be out on the street. I'd rather be out hanging out with people. I'd rather be doing things like that and
connecting.
Yeah, and I'm not able to do a lot of it like I used to because I don't have as much time. But I'm thankful that God has brought people to our church that they're hitting the streets all the time. They're doing food ministry. My wife leads a phenomenal food box ministry that people come from all over the neighborhood and get free food.
Nice.
So my wife and a team of people do that. And then we have Loving People Ministries where we got people from our church that hit the streets and they feed the homeless and feed people who are just kind of going through a rough time, maybe don't have enough food in their fridge, so they come and eat. Yeah. And so we bring food to the streets, and then people from the streets come to the church and get food.
Yeah,
and then we have folks that in various levels of capacity do outreach on the street. You know, just whether it's a group of 2 or 3 people, or whether it's an organized thing where, hey, we're going to canvass the streets and just pray tonight, or we're going to go and just talk to people that God leads us to talk to. You know, things like that. So. You know, Keith and Kimmy with their Refuge Coffee Shop, they are constantly doing all kinds of street ministry there. And I even told them, I said, this isn't just a business anymore. This is like a church plant from our church. You guys are an extension of the church. And we've given them a lot of support because we love them, but we love what they're about.
Yep.
You know, so...
Where's that coffee shop?
Where are they located? Yeah.
They're on Southeast 92nd and Foster.
Okay.
Nice.
So they're right in the Lentz area as well. And they're right across the street from Planet Fitness.
Okay.
Right?
Can you go in there and post up and hang out?
Yes, you can.
Almost,
Yep.
There's very few coffee shops that you can just go in and sit down and have a coffee now.
Right. So, I mean, just like we started to meet for church again, they started being able to have guests come in again. So everyone's got to do the same thing where they put their mask on.
Sure.
And then when they sit down to eat and drink, they can take it off. Right. And they have to spread the seating out. So over at our church, you know, it's real similar. Everyone's wearing their mask at church.
Are you inside again?
And we're inside. Okay. Yep, we're inside, and people are, you know, if you're with your family, you can sit right next to your family. But if it's not your family, you're supposed to give 6 feet of space.
Right.
And so there are people, you know, that they honor that. They're like, hey, you know, you're not my family, so we're going to give you a little space. Everyone's wearing their mask. So everyone wears a mask while they're in the church, except for like right when I go up to preach, I take my mask off while I'm preaching, and then I put it back on when I'm done. I saw that's what Governor Kate Brown does, so that's what I do. I just take it off to speak, and then I put it back on. Yeah. And then same with our worship team that's singing. They're having a tough time trying to sing with the mask on, so I told them, take it off when you're singing. When you're done singing, put it back on.
Put it back
on.
And
we got sanitizer everywhere.
Yeah.
We've got
people are welcome to come in.
And people are welcome to come and
feel good. Safe.
Yeah, our church is like very diverse. We got people from all different colors and all different backgrounds. We even have people from like Estacada that come to our church. People from Oregon City. People from right in the neighborhood. Like people who could even just walk. You know. So we have people from really everywhere. Some of them have no income. Some of them have low income. Some of them own businesses. And some of them are blue collar and work at a great place, you know. And some people work fast food and some people work in the industry. And so we just have kind of everybody.
Yep.
That's great. So what type of people would you say that gravitate towards your message and kind of how you deliver it?
I would say people who are looking for community and looking for God, but don't appreciate the feeling of you need to be perfect or you need to look cleaned up or perfect to come here. So
welcome as you are.
Yeah, come as you are. You know, at our church, we're going to. We feel that the Holy Spirit needs to be just as comfortable or more than people. So we don't try to make the atmosphere comfortable per se, in the sense of the temperature better be right and those chairs better fit my rear just right. And you better not say anything controversial to me. I don't care if it's in the Bible or not. Like we don't focus on that stuff. You know, we focus on, are we honoring God here? And are we also honoring people that come, whether they're people who are Christians or not? Because even though we don't agree with everything that the world says is okay,
right,
we don't believe that we need to be angry about it, that we need to be combative about it, that we don't even need to debate about it. You know, what we believe in as Christians is based on faith. And it's either you have faith or you don't have faith. We don't have to fight about that.
Right.
It's like, I have faith that that the Word of God is the absolute truth. That's a part of my faith, right? That's a part of what I believe. Someone else might say, well, I don't have a problem with Jesus, but I'm definitely not going to follow everything in that book. I say,
I was
okay.
going to say, a lot of people,
You know?
that might be what keeps them away from.
Right, and that's okay. I can respect that and I can appreciate that.
So if someone's considering a church or can connect with a piece of what you're talking about, maybe online, if they catch you online for that second.
You know what's happened a lot for us, Kristina, is we've had people come to our church and listen to the messages and say, man, I really love this church and everything. And then when it comes to certain topics that we talk about, you know, whenever those come, sometimes those are the things where it's like, oh, you know what, I don't think I can stay here anymore. Or, you know what, I love this church even more. Because I'll have people who will say, thank God that you're not afraid to talk about these issues. And then I'll have people who say, hey, I appreciate you talked about it, but I don't agree with what you guys believe on that, so I'm gonna find another place to meet. And it doesn't end in a war. It doesn't end in disrespect.
Right. All of it's good.
We say, you know what? I love you. I appreciate you. Thanks for coming and talking to me about it. And you know, I hope everything goes okay with your journey. But if it's in the Bible, I can't change it.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And I believe if I try to, then I'm doing something that is wrong to God, and I just don't want to go there.
I think the number one thing I hear or see is people saying, like, the hypocrisy of people that claim to be Christian or super religious.
You'll find that everywhere.
Yeah. So, and that's such an easy thing. What do you just say to someone that, you know, is maybe cutting themselves short by not allowing, you know?
I would say that no matter what position somebody's in, everybody is a human being.
Right.
And that everybody is broken and lost without Jesus. And so we are all a work in progress. I know that there are some who are like, well, you're a pastor or you're an evangelist or something. You should be more like this. And that's where people go wrong, is when they have expectations that aren't real.
Right.
Like,
all of a sudden you just need to not be human anymore.
Right. You're supposed to be perfect and you're not. So you're a hypocrite and I hate you and I'm not going to your church and I'm out of here and, you know, screw off or whatever. And that's to have the expectation that any human being is in the upper echelon of heavenhood that's not realistic. Everybody is broken and needs the Lord and needs the Lord's work in their life every day.
Yeah.
You know, every day, right?
Every morning,
right?
right?
Especially every morning, right?
I remember I grew up with grandparents as pastors, and they were Foursquare pastors too.
Oh, nice.
So, and I didn't understand growing up. They said they loved God first, then each other, and so there was a hierarchy, right, within the house, and it didn't make sense to me as a child. But now, as I've gotten older, I'm like, you got to have that. It is a hierarchy, and it's how. And they would meet every morning and have their.
Devotion,
their daily devotion, and they'd pray together, and we'd make fun of them and all that. But now here I am doing the same thing as an adult, right?
Hey, that's all right.
It gives structure, and I think you and I talked about it briefly. Like, it needs to be in school, just for nothing else, is for the structure.
Yeah.
Whether they believe it or not,
right?
At least it gives the kids structure.
Yeah, the structure really helps. Having a flow.
When you said that, I was like, you're absolutely right.
Yeah.
And so
foundation in church, I think, has gone way farther than I would ever. I mean, just to be able, you know, the 10 Commandments, right? Growing up with that blasted in your head of how to live to be a good human. I mean, that carries you through anything and everything. And so
that's how we got our moral structure.
Yeah, and I can't imagine not having that. So, I mean, we have our son, obviously, in a Christian school. Where he decides to go with that is not I'm not in control of that, right? That's up to him and God, where he takes that. But I know a foundation in church has been a wonderful thing for me.
Oh, yeah.
And so...
You know something that is so true and so real that a lot of people forget is when you look in Luke 15 and you see the parable of the good father, or as some folks know it as the prodigal son. When you look at that story, you see that the father never stopped loving his son no matter what his son was doing.
Right.
And we forget that sometimes. We kind of go our own way because of whatever reason, pain, rejection, some form
Not
of
feeling
conflict.
good enough, whatever.
Yeah, condemnation. And so this son had decided, I want everything that's mine and I want to go. Mm-hmm. Well, he ended up coming back. And here's what the Bible says is that the father saw him from afar off, saw him from a long ways away, and he ran out to meet his son. Now, Jesus is the one who tells this parable. And Jesus is telling this parable because what he's doing is he's giving an explanation of what his father's like. So when you're reading the story and you're seeing it as Jesus is telling it to help give explanation to someone else, right? Mm-hmm. Jesus is saying that my father is the one who looks for his people to come home, and what he does is he meets them on the road back home. He doesn't say, as soon as you get here, then we'll start getting things right, but you better get all the way here. Jesus says that the father ran and met him on the road. Mm-hmm. And then he welcomed him as his son. He said, go get the ring, go get the robe, and go get the shoes.
You're back.
So whatever we're doing in our life, we have to understand that God's love for us never changes no matter what we have decided to do. Mm-hmm. But it's our decision to decide if we're going to let him be father and if we're going to come back in the house or not.
Take it to the house.
So he's never
take it to the house.
He's never said you can't come in. He's never said I don't love you.
Always
he's never
welcome back.
He's just been waiting. He's waiting for everyone in the world to make their decision to say, you know what? I'm going to trust you. I'm going to love you back, and I'm going to follow you, and I want to come back to the house.
Yeah.
That's it.
It's a great way to end this second segment, I think. Yeah.
There we go.
So we got to take another break here, listen to another sponsor of ours, and when we come back, we are actually going to talk about the Portland package and some real estate.
Package.
So
I got some favorite spots.
There are some good spots around town.
Yep.
Have you ever thought about flipping your own home?
Need to sell but cannot afford the repairs? We have the solution for you.
With our Flip Your Own Home program, we can help you maximize your full potential profit.
For a free, no obligation 15-minute consultation, call or text us today at 503-382-7798.
Welcome back, everyone. We're back with Alpha and Kristina, and we're going to talk about the infamous Portland package. Nice. So, if you don't know what the Portland package is, it's basically the top 3 things that you would do or take someone to show off Portland. So, for instance, a great restaurant, maybe take them to the coast, and maybe take them to the gorge or something like that. Just 3 things, and it could be anything on, what would you do if you brought an out-of-town guest to just show off how cool Portland and all the surrounding areas are?
Or just your favorite spots,
or just your favorite spots in
I'll
Southeast Portland. Either one.
Well, you guys met Scott Free from Atlanta, so Scott comes to Portland at least once a year, and he's always wanting to experience the Portland vibe. Mm-hmm. And so here's what I do. I mean, for eating, for sure, I would say PDX sliders, okay? Because listen, Ryan Rowlands over at PDX Sliders, it's all natural food.
Yeah.
There's no preservative in it. You can taste the quality. You can taste it's fresh. He sets a great environment, and you don't have to wait forever to get your food. The French fries got some kind of truffle seasoning and stuff on it.
Some sort of crap.
I mean, it's so good. And it's not just little mini slider burgers or slider chicken. He's got the full-size deal going on. And he's running a different, unique special every single month. So I would say PDX Sliders to go eat and kind of catch a Portland vibe. That'd be really good. They got 2 locations. Both of them are in Southeast. Yeah. One's in inner Southeast and one's in Sellwood. Yeah. I mean, so you're getting a good Portland vibe by kind of even being in those areas of Portland.
Yeah.
So, I would say PDX Sliders is a good spot.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so I would do that. I mean, something else you got to do when you're in Oregon, really, Portland or Oregon, is I think you need to go fishing.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I would go fishing, if I was to say what guide, I would say Dave Johnson. If you were to go fishing with a guide, Dave Johnson would be great. You can just Google Dave Johnson guide service.
He'll take you anywhere.
And he takes people, sturgeon fishing, salmon fishing, steelhead fishing, walleye fishing. Anything. And he's been doing it for like 30 years or something.
These days here soon, so.
And his wife will go with him on the boat when he has a boat full of, because he gets women that want to go with him who are like, hey, we want to fish too. It's not just for guys. And he'll load the boat up, and his wife will help him, and they'll be helping everybody get their stuff set up. When you pay Dave to go fishing, it's a real experience, and he takes care of everything for you. So you just come with your food, and
I wonder if that's the guy my family visited, and we did fly fishing somewhere up in the Clackamas River somewhere, or in past Estacada as
I don't know.
State Park out there. What's that state park? I don't know. Do you remember where we went?
Eagle Fern or something?
I don't know, but it was so fun. We have the best pictures. Yeah, he brought everything.
Yep.
Almost got taken down river. Had no idea those streams.
When Scott Free was in town, he said that you didn't catch anything when you took him out fishing.
Never catch anything.
That's why I'm saying go with Dave Johnson. Okay. If you want a good outdoor adventure and experience and a good fishing experience where the catching fish isn't a guarantee, you want to go with me. But I'm not a fishing guy.
You're just gonna have fun.
If you walked in my garage, you probably would think I'm a fishing guy. I got more fishing stuff than I probably have more fishing stuff than Dave Johnson. I don't know. But so I would do that, and then there's always the fun at the mountain. There's always the if you come in the wintertime or close to it, there's the skiing. Yep. There's there's skiing for like advanced skiers. There's the ski bowl. There's skiing for people who don't know anything about skiing. That would be me.
Yeah. Where do you find yourself?
I find myself in the lodge.
In the lodge.
Yeah. I let my wife and kids have fun on the slopes, and I am chilling in the lodge.
Do you have a drink of choice in the lodge?
I don't know. Maybe whatever's local. Probably I'd just say, hey, what's your most local IPA or something like that?
So
or
IPA.
Cool. If I'm in a coffee mood, I'm like, give me a nice warm cup of coffee. Let me sit here and chill.
Mm-hmm. I think there's like a Mount Hood brewery or something up there. There's a very local.
Oh yeah.
Up there. I can't remember if that's exactly what it is, but it's
they have at least one.
Yeah,
they have at least one
there's
over
several,
there.
But I think there's one that's called Mount Hood.
Where's your favorite place to fish when you do go somewhere? Where do you normally find yourself going, or do you like to switch it up?
I do like to switch it up, but honestly, one of my most favorite places to fish is the Sandy River.
Yeah, interesting.
I never fish it from a boat. Because if you do, it's got to be like a drift boat or like a raft. But I bank fish it, and I love it. I love the way it looks, and and I've had some great fishing days on the Sandy River, and you could still find some good days fishing there.
Bring some fish home, and you fillet it up and cook it.
Not always, but when I do catch fish, I do everything myself. I fillet it, I smoke it. I can cook it on the grill. I know how to do everything with the fish.
Nice.
Yeah. I grew up fishing on the Sandy River, so my best friend lived right on the river. So before school, we'd go out there and right off the bank.
Seriously, I didn't know that.
We need to call that friend, man. We need to get there anymore. What? Man, private property on the Sandy is like gold.
Well, we have other friends there.
Yeah, we do.
Jean would probably let us come out there and fish. So.
Man,
Jean, if you're listening,
there's fish in there right now. It's the right now. The fish is loaded with coho salmon and steelhead, and you'll find some Chinook too, but the Chinook are kind of old.
There was a ton of fishermen out there. I haven't fished in years now, but I want to.
That's where that dam is right there.
There was a ton of people out there.
Is that a good spot?
Marmot
where
Dam,
the dams are?
it's gone.
No, like
now.
where the
Bonneville?
No, where the actual beavers right there on the Sandy River in front of it. They created their own. Yeah. Is that like where you'll find good fishing holes, or is that just
sometimes?
In theory?
Sometimes because what the dams do is they form like a little pool.
Yeah.
And fish love the spot that's like the least resistance. They kind of chill in there a little bit.
She's right by with
and so when you're able to
and snag them up,
you get above river where they can't see you, and you present everything to them. And if there's a fish there and it's in the mood, you're gonna get them.
Because it kind of drops right there, and then up where the dam starts, it's shallow, so you could very easily.
I know you could easily find trout in there for sure.
Yeah.
And steelhead and salmon will kind of move into those places
Smelt?
too.
Ever do any smelting?
Never.
No?
I don't even know what that is, you
I
guys.
don't know if they even run it anymore. I think every now and then. They used to run every year, and you just dip your net in and scoop up like 100 of them at a time. Yeah.
How big are they?
Smell? They're like I don't
small
know,
ones.
Yeah, they're just little.
So like
anywhere
sardine
from like
type
that.
stuff?
Not quite
I've
sardine,
never done it.
but they're
Never done that.
Yeah, and so
But
that
you know,
was fun
crabbing's
growing
huge
up.
here too.
I still haven't done
People
that
are
either.
totally into crabbing, man. You know, if you spend any time on the coast, you're not going to have to look very far to say, hey, can you tell me where I can do some crabbing? You're going to always find somebody who tells you everything about that.
Yep. Eric and Jonquil, shout out to Eric and Jonquil. They go all the time, take their family, so
They do.
there'd be some people. But they just go and get any service, like you said. And you can go find anybody.
We just sold a house in Astoria and spent a whole day there, and
that was pretty cool.
Astoria is a cool.
Yeah, didn't they filmed like Goonies, like part of the movie Goonies out there?
Yeah, I
in
couldn't
Astoria.
find the address.
We couldn't find the Goonies house.
Yeah,
but,
I think the Goonies house. I think they removed it. Like someone ended up buying that house.
They're not into it
and said
anymore.
we're not into this
Yeah,
thing. You know,
yeah.
we don't want people coming to our house.
Right.
So I think that's why.
I did search for it, see if I could find it. Did some Googling to see if I could find what the address was, but did not find it. So I wanted Jetty to see, because I had just introduced him to Goonies.
Oh yeah.
Yep. So.
Well, you know something else about Portland is I remember this when I spent 4.5 years in Charlotte, North Carolina. One of the things that was even known there is like Portland is the import brewing capital or something. I don't know. They said something about because of how we have all the breweries, right?
Yeah.
So
absolutely.
probably export.
Yeah.
Probably export the most
And so
or something. Yeah.
between wine and beer, from what the gorge all the way to the coast, you can find a winery, you can find a brewery,
good time.
You're guaranteed to be hammered by the time you get
sample
to the coast or back.
Hopefully not, but you know.
With your
hopefully you have
driver.
a driver.
They have like the
Designated
limos that'll
driver.
take you on a tour, right? And you can eat cheese
Uber.
and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
You could do all of that.
Any other spots that you love? Food, restaurants? Like, what's your go-to?
I don't know. I love Thai food. I love barbecue. I love everything.
Do you usually cook, or do you find yourself?
Yeah. My wife is quite the cook, as you can tell. I mean, it's hard to lose weight in my house because my wife cooks good, and I eat too much of it. So, but
All right.
you know, I love Erewhon Thai food. I love Thai Smile. That's a great place too. They make good quality food, and you've got Buster's Barbecue, which isn't bad for commercial barbecue, but I like to eat my own barbecue, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Buster's is pretty good.
But it's
just
pretty
to jump
good.
in and, for quick and easy. Absolutely.
Yep. I love that. There is that place. I don't know if you guys are into sub sandwiches. You guys like Phillies. You guys like Philly sandwiches?
I like a good Philly, yeah.
So on, I believe it's on Milwaukee Avenue in Sellwood. There's Virtues Brewery right there. It's called.
Okay.
It's called. I think it's called 13
Seen it.
Virtues or
13,
something like
I've
that.
seen it. I haven't been
And they
in there.
brew their own beer and all that kind of stuff and cider.
Yeah.
Well, they make. I would say in Portland they make the best Philly sandwiches. And if you don't like beef, you can say I want a chicken, this and that, or whatever.
That's not Philly, though.
But dude, the Philly sandwich over there is outstanding.
I gotta give it a shot.
Yeah, it's really
then.
good over there. Yeah.
Pop in there.
Yeah,
What's it called? 13 Virtues?
I think it's called 13 Virtues or something like that.
Okay.
I'll
have to check it out.
That's a great place.
That is not one I've heard of yet.
Yeah.
So, but I know I've seen it driving by. So.
Yeah. I love it. That's like one of the go-tos. PDX sliders, going to the Virtues and getting the Philly sandwich. You know, Mio Sushi's right by the shop there in Sellwood.
Oh, yeah.
It's like,
Nice and easy.
And they got the best mango iced tea and sushi around there. I mean, I'm kind of picky about sushi. I don't like the nasty sushi, and that place has never let me down.
Oh, Mio's really good.
It's never let me
They're
down over there.
consistent.
Really good.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you're not going to a shishi place, you know.
Yeah. And there's I've heard about that place in Sellwood that has like a line going down the street for sushi. I can't remember the name of the place because I've never gone.
Oh, shoot.
Is it a cart?
No. It's
an
an
actual
actual
restaurant?
restaurant, but it's small. I think it's all like people are lined up waiting to go in there to get their sushi, and then they go. Yeah.
It's all takeout right now?
I think so.
Got
yeah,
it.
but there's usually align.
See, those are all the
because it's
things that
good.
make Sellwood like such a great
Yeah.
place to live, right?
Yeah,
And
definitely.
the real
You walk to
estates.
just about everywhere. I mean, you got
Yeah.
5 coffee shops within a 1 mile radius right there
Yeah.
in Sellwood too. So I mean, you got coffee everywhere. You got
So you like Neo Sushi by the shop. Where else what's your go-to spots by?
the
over
PDX
there?
sliders, the Virtues there, and with those food carts coming in, I'm good.
Yeah,
Like,
you don't
I mean,
need to go off the go.
I'm totally
You're
good.
going
So
nowhere.
I'll have Thai food right there. I'll have. I mean, I can get gumbo.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Where else are you going to get gumbo?
Right.
And, Calabash, his food cart, he's going to have gumbo right there. I
Really?
mean, yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
there is-
He
you
knows
really
how to
can't
make all
find
that
gumbo
stuff.
like
You
the-
can't find that
I
stuff
miss
anywhere.
Gumbo, actually.
And
When I lived
he
in
actually,
Texas.
I asked him about his gumbo because I have a friend from Nolans. That's how they say it,
Yeah, you can't
Nolans.
say New.
And Corey Hicks, he told me about the gumbo, and he's like, you can't be messing up gumbo. If you're gonna make gumbo, it needs to be right.
You better know what
And
you're
so I
doing.
started talking to him about his gumbo, and he's like, oh yeah, I know how to make gumbo.
Yeah, all right. He's confident.
Yeah,
in his
he's like, I
gumbo.
know how to
like
get
it.
that done. So,
Nice.
I said, I want some gumbo. I want some of your ribs. I saw his barbecued ribs. He said, these are my African style barbecue ribs with a little bit of Cajun touch. And I'm like, phew.
Sold.
What's
I said,
that?
bro,
I'll be there.
yeah. I said, I don't even need to ask how much. I just need to know when it's ready. 'Cause
Yeah,
I'm ready to eat it
yeah,
now.
Let us know.
Yeah, we'll have coffee there.
Yep.
Mexican food, you can't go wrong.
Get your car washed.
Get it detailed
Get
and
your
eat some
stomach,
food.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Belly filled up with
That's
good
right.
food. some
You
good
sure
coffee.
can. Yep.
And if you want a drink, there's a cross caddy corner. What's that spot called?
You could go to Jake's Place,
Jake's
Caddy
Place.
Corner.
That's a good little dive.
little
The
dive.
breakfast joint there, Birdie Lou's Cafe, is awesome
Oh, yeah.
breakfast.
Birdie Lou's is awesome. Yeah.
It's legit breakfast over
Yeah.
there.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
we've had a couple business talks over at what is it, Jake's Place?
Mhm.
Jake's and Birdie Lou's
Yep.
probably. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Do some business, eat some food. But
Yeah,
yeah,
those
you don't
are
have
good
to leave a
spots.
lot anymore. So.
No, you don't have to go anywhere.
Unfortunately, we're getting towards the end of our
Yeah.
time as it's flown by. So
I know. Tell us where
Yeah.
people can find you again.
Well, we do have 2 locations to serve you for auto detailing. We got one in Clackamas off 82nd Drive and one at 8064 Southeast 17th Avenue in Sellwood. You can find us at alphasautodetail.com, and our church is revolutionchurchpdx.com. So hopefully we'll
Yeah,
meet
go
you one
on
way or another.
Facebook. Follow
Yeah,
you guys on
Facebook, yep,
Facebook, and
yep.
then you'll get to get those live
On Facebook, we got
notifications of when they're on.
Yep. On Facebook, you'll find me as Bubba Hayward. I've tried to change it to my real name. I don't know how to do that stuff, but Bubba Hayward
Bubba
on
Hayward.
Facebook. You'll be able to find me there, and you'll be able to find everything else
The
that I'm
church
about.
too. Yeah. Yeah. What else?
yeah, so we didn't get to talk a lot about real estate, but if you do have real estate questions, you can find Kristina and I at all things, or not all things. It's
Portland Real Estate.
PortlandRealEstateExperts.com
Yep.
is ours, and at Portland Real Estate Experts on Instagram.
Mhm.
So, or any of our shows on All Things Portland. Almost all of them have a real estate section.
Nice.
This is our first one without a real estate section.
Well, we had so much fun
Hey.
talking to.
We had to talk about Jesus today.
We had to talk
Hey,
about
I'm excited about
Food.
that.
You
I'm
know,
always down to
food,
talk about
Jesus
Jesus.
and food.
If we're going to talk about Jesus
that's
and
Bubba in
food,
a nutshell.
that is me.
Jesus, food, and fishing. I mean,
That's
you
it.
can't go wrong. So,
That should be the name of a podcast. Jesus, food, and
That's
fishing.
probably
I'm
it.
totally
there-
about that.
there you
Yeah.
have it.
Yeah.
You
That
don't have
sounds
to
like
think
fun.
about the title, guys.
Nope.
It's Jesus, food, and fishing.
That's it. That's
Yeah.
what else do you need?
All right. Thanks for coming
Awesome.
again today.
All right.
Thanks for listening, and have a great day.